All right, now I'd like to move us to the age of mankind, and Paul has a nice quote that I would like to read for us. And here it starts. The world population today is estimated to be about 6.5 billion people, and this is published in 2009. And the current growth rate measuring the net number of births over deaths is thought to average about 1.14% per year. That means that for every 100 million people, 1.14 million are added annually. Now, according to evolutionary theory, human beings originated at least 1.5 million years ago. Calculations have shown, however, that an average population growth rate of only 0.5%, less than half the current rate of growth, is sufficient to generate the present world population from just 2 people in a mere 4,000 years. This seems to point to a recent origin of the human population just a few thousand years ago. And if we go on to what he says on page 116, he says there's evidently a substantial disagreement between population growth estimates and the evolutionary timescale. If man has been around for 1.5 million years, it is reasonable to wonder why it took so long for the world population to reach its present size. The usual explanation is that the human population remained very small for much of its history because numbers were limited by man's hunting and gathering lifestyle. Then, a few thousand years ago, agriculture was developed for the first time and the human population underwent an explosion. But this surely raises the question, why did man, with all his resourcefulness and creativeness, take so long to develop agriculture? It seems difficult to believe that human beings took hundreds of thousands of years to work out that seeds placed in the ground would yield plants for food. The number of people alive on the earth today suggests that man has not been around for the time proposed by evolutionary theory. What you're touching on as regards man's intelligence going back in time, if the challenges to even developing one protein on large evolutionary timescales are what they are, and if even one feature involves massive amounts of new proteins and organizing them in specific ways, I just don't see any good argument for a contention that mankind has developed cognitively in the past 2 million years. So the best explanation for the question, what was man like cognitively 2 million years ago, if the earth was that old, compared to what he is now, the best explanation would be, absent some type of divine intervention, mankind has basically the same cognitive capacity back then as he did now. This is where I would want to highlight the issue of assumptions. The assumption that man was 2,000, 2 million, 200,000 years ago, much less cognitively capable than he is now, is an assumption that goes against the mathematical evidence, against unguided evolution without an intelligent designer guiding it or creating it. In light of that, the most reasonable thing to do in regards to the question, what has mankind been like in the past cognitively, is say he's just like he is now.
I don't really have very much to add other than to say that clearly, we have evidence of complex cognitive behaviors among those early human populations. When you look at the kinds of tools that they're able to fashion and the other technologies they were able to use, it does sort of stretch credulity that they were not able to advance beyond the hunter-gatherer kind of lifestyle and develop agriculture and a more settled existence. And so that doesn't seem to me to be a plausible solution, to this problem of why was the human population so low for so long.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Credible Faith is a global missions-minded apologetics ministry with content available in 7 different languages across 7 websites: German, Russian, Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and English. If you would like to support the global apologetics work of Credible Faith, go to crediblefaith.org and click on the donate icon. If you would like me to give an apologetics workshop or participate in a debate at your university, or if you would like me to give a Great Commission missions conference or apologetics conference at your church, get in touch with me through the Contact Us section of the Credible Faith website. You can also submit a request through the website to get Credible Faith's monthly email. If you are a native speaker of Russian, German, Italian, French, Spanish, or Portuguese, and if you notice that an essay from the English website is not available on the Credible Faith website for your language, feel free to get in touch with me about translating the essay, and I would read through your translated material for quality control and the desire to see content from the essay made available in your language. Thank you for listening, and have a great night.